What's going on, YouTube? What's going on? This one is going to be about Warren Beatty, who turned down the movie Boogie Nights. Who was going to play the character of Jack Horner, and the role went to Burt Reynolds. How do I feel about this? Now, this is always great topics, especially when it's something that I have to really remember and how I remember that movie. And a lot of names turned down being in Boogie Nights. But this movie did wonders for Burt Reynolds because at the time he was kind of on the ropes of his career. He was kind of not really happening. Beatty, by the way, was a couple years worth. I think it was Bullworth came out in '98, so about a year and a half later, something like that. Beatty was able to kind of go between doing different things. He was able to have the kind of career that Reynolds was kind of typecast because Reynolds was an action man. Beatty was kind of like a lover man, love him and leave him, and then he had action. You remember he did Bugsy um back in '91. So he tried different movies, different things that it worked for him. He has an interesting career when you think about it. Reynolds was kind of like roll the dice hardcore, he was his peak and prime, mid late '70s, kind of early '80s, then kind of faded, then kind of had. But this movie was huge for his resume. Boogie Nights was huge. It brought him back, to say the least, because at the time, it was like a movie that it kind of fit into him what he was doing. Now, I could see Beatty turning it down because the role was kind of, sleazy, and it was kind of sorted. And I don't think Beatty would have necessarily benefited from that, you know. Whereas for Reynolds, it seemed to work. I think it kind of fit that narrative for that thing. And again, knowing where artists is, what they're up to, what their walls against, you just never know these things. But I don't think anyone else could have really pulled that role off by Burt Reynolds as Jack Horner in Boogie Nights. So Beatty turning it down, actually, it worked really well for what to get in Reynolds his that vehicle that gave him that probably one important at the time, and even a hit movie and critical acclaim and all that. So, I remember it just like yesterday. But the Warren Beatty part was like, whoa! If Warren Beatty had done that movie, what might have happened? It's just so many things that you look at and you just kind of go, wow. So you just never know these things, but it's a fine line in that industry, and you just never know what's going to happen. So, um, you just, but it worked out really well. Let's just say that it worked out really well. And it was the kind of film that, Burt Reynolds thrived in. The cast, the right frame. And that's always the key. Now, would I have liked to see Warren Beatty probably do a movie like this? Probably in the '70s. Black when he did Shampoo, when he was just kind of all over the place and he was thinking he was all that, and his vibe, his element would have definitely loaned itself to that era. I think that era of him would have pulled it off, and it would have kind of the smugness, the coldness, the aloof, the tone. But I don't know about at that time. I think Burt Reynolds was the one to pick for that particular one. But anyway, it's an interesting question though, and it's an interesting topic when you find out. So let me know what your thoughts are. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit that membership because when you do requests like this come true, stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.